I mean, we knock on a lot of doors. You meet like old people, young people, naked people occasionally.
Naked people?
You do, yeah, when they're clearly expecting somebody else at the door.
Is that right? Do they ever invite you in? I'm Marc Jennings, stand-up comedian, podcaster, and as you can tell from my glasses, the kind of person who studied politics at uni. All my life I've been told, you need to vote. But I find myself asking, what's the point?
So many people are feeling really scunnered.
Feel scunnered.
They're scunnered.
Scunnered and fed up.
You're all the same.
So before the Scottish election, I'm pounding pavement to see if putting pencil to paper to pick a party even has a point. 6 parties, 1 question. Why vote? Liberal Democrats, known for their campaign stunts, they try to avoid being seen as boring by taking up physical activities like people who do high rocks. For the Lib Dem lowdown, I'm joined by their candidate, Sanne Dijstra-Downie. Why should people vote?
Well, if you don't vote, you don't get to complain if things don't go the way you like.
Why should people vote for the Liberal Democrats?
Because we're really nice people, Mark, and we get stuff done, and we listen to people, and we just want to be really good local representatives.
Well, I've heard Alex Cole-Hamilton say that he's knocked on more doors than any other campaign leader, but is that really the best way to win people round to your belief system, to adopt the same tactics as that famously popular group, the Jehovah's Witnesses?
I mean, we knock on a lot of doors because we want to listen to people, whether they agree with us, whether they don't agree with us. It's important that we hear what people have to say.
It must be hard these days as well to knock on doors when everyone's got those security camera doorbells, so even if they're not in, they can still give you abuse.
Yeah, you feel quite self-conscious when you're on camera all the time. But, you know, you meet like old people, young people, naked people occasionally.
Naked people?
You do, yeah, when they're clearly expecting somebody else at the door.
Is that right? Do they ever invite you in?
No comment.
The Lib Dems are promising faster access to GPs and NHS dentists. How's that going to work in practice? The people that stop rushing just get first dibs?
So one of the things that we're really focusing on is fixing the crisis in our NHS. And the way that we do that is fixing social care, because right now, say if your granny is stuck in hospital to get her hip fixed or something like that, and she's ready to go, she wants to leave, but she can't go home because she can't get a carer into her house.
This exact thing happened to my gran recently.
There you go. I knew that.
Yeah, I didn't know you were psychic as well.
You know, at the moment it costs the NHS over £1 million every day for people who are stuck in hospitals but they can't get home because they can't get the care. So what we wanted to make sure is that we get people out of hospitals, free up that money so that we can have more staff in our GP practices so people can see a GP when they need to.
I read in the manifesto that you're trying to get rid of dental desserts. Is that why you were making cake earlier?
Dental deserts.
Oh, is it deserts?
Yes.
I must have read that
Did we misspell that?
Yeah, I think that was me. The Lib Dems want to legalise drugs. Has that been your influence from the Netherlands? You're trying to bring coffee shop culture here?
I do like a cup of coffee.
420?
Gosh.
Smoking that kush? Ganja?
In all seriousness, the Netherlands is not all Amsterdam. Amsterdam's very different to some of the parts of the country.
One of the Lib Dem policies is to ban mobile phones in the classroom. But people in the Scottish elections can vote from the age of 16, so do you not worry that they will not vote for you because of that?
They're just a distraction, and we need to get them out of our classrooms.
Yeah, because think about all the kids at the moment studying for their exams and they're getting distracted by watching TikToks of Alex Cole-Hamilton out in a jet ski.
Oh, you really don't want that. No, not when you're studying for your exams.
Where do you stand on housing?
We need to build more houses. Liberal Democrats want to build 25,000 more houses every year.
I've noticed a bit of a flaw in your housing policy. You say you'll build 25,000 homes a year by cutting red tape, but you need to build the homes first and then you cut the red tape at the end for the photo op.
That's a really, really good point. I'll feed that back.
Thank you. I've heard Alex Cole-Hamilton talk about warming cold Scottish homes, but how are they going to deal with the emotional coldness of Scottish homes?
Listen, we need to insulate our homes, right? Because we're using energy that we don't need to use.
Yeah.
That's not a good thing. We need to cut our carbon emissions, but we also need to make sure that people are not spending too much on their energy bill. So actually, insulation, I know it's not very sexy, but it's really, really important.
Well, there's nothing frostier than the reception I get when I go to my girlfriend's dad's house.
Do they not have good insulation?
No, it's freezing.
That's such a shame.
I know. Sanne Dijstra-Downie there, giving me a liberal dose of why people should vote Liberal Democrat. And sure, they claim to chat more doors than any other party, but does it make a difference? Here's something I've knocked up to explain more. During election campaigns, politicians are always banging on about winning people over on the doorstep. Going door to door also gives them an easy out in interviews. No matter what they're hit with, they can always respond with, "That's not what I'm hearing on the doorstep." No doorstep has ever contradicted a Scottish politician, although some doorsteps talk more sense. Politicians and campaigners love going door to door. Apparently, it works. Not because folks suddenly change their minds. No one's switching political beliefs in their slippers. It's about turnout. Reminding supporters to actually get up and vote. Or if they're undecided, maybe swaying them towards your way of thinking. Politicians going door to door on foot is good for the planet. As many people turn off the lights in the telly and kid on they're not in. If you don't get the knock on the door, you'll get a leaflet. Because apparently the only people still using door-to-door marketing are politicians and brand new Chinese takeaways. One is trying to scare you about immigration, the other is reminding you of the benefits of it. All these concerned voters like, "Oh, I'm worried about the country being overcrowded, but I do love salt and pepper chicken." Before I nip off for my takeaway, I need some political takeaway from the Gordon Ramsay of graphs, the Paul Holyrood of Holyrood, Poland, Professor Sir John Curtice. You're not related to Richard Curtice?
No.
Love Actually? Okay. No, you're one of the country's top political analysts, I would say.
Supposedly.
Supposedly. Do you ever try and predict the outcomes of any other things? World Cup, Grand National, that type of thing?
No.
No, okay.
Don't bet.
You don't bet?
No.
Not even on politics?
No.
You'd make a fortune, surely?
No, not necessarily.
No, okay, fair enough. Why might people vote for the Scottish Liberal Democrats?
Basically, the Liberal Democrats, they're primarily successful at promoting two groups in Scotland. One is middle-class graduates, particularly living in graduate-heavy environments. St Andrews University, parts of Edinburgh, or the folk who live out at Bear's Den, you know, on the edges of Glasgow, right? You know, kind of quite liberal middle-class territory.
People.
Well, yeah, posh people, and people who work in the liberal professions, right? Okay, that's one element. And then the other element, and again, this is, you know, a lot goes back to the days of the Liberal Party, it's the Highlands and Islands, of course. And there it's about we defend the interests of this constituency. And you therefore often see people voting for Liberal Democrats in these kinds of places on the constituency vote, but then actually voting for somebody else on the list vote.
But ideologically, are the Lib Dems not kind of like the Partick Thistle of politics? They're kind of not one thing or the other.
That's quite good. Yeah, I mean, they're certainly not a party that generates a great deal of antipathy. Nobody is against them, but they can sometimes find it rather difficult to attract a crowd. Yeah, it's a pretty good analogy.
Are the Lib Dems splitting the vote?
Well, I think if I were a Liberal Democrat, my answer to you would be, who do you think is responsible for ensuring that we have a proportional electoral system for local elections in Scotland? Who do you think has succeeded in negotiating with the Scottish Government to be able to ensure that the Highlands and Islands get their fair crack of the Scottish budgetary whip? Mm-hmm. Being able to turn that into a broad message that is really going to attract interest broadly across Scotland. And I think that's certainly one of the difficulties that the party has.
Sir John Curtice providing some broad political context there. So that's me had a taste of what the Liberal Democrats are cooking. Is their future looking peachy, or are they heading for a soggy bottom? That's up to you. As for me, personally, I've given it some thought, and I've realised I'm going to vote for... I'm not telling you, but if you want to hear me putting more genuine questions to genuine parties, go check out the other episodes now.